Hey, what's going on? So we have Kelly here and we work together. It's been a little while since we actually worked together and we reconnected. We were chatting, and we spent 6 months together. And she had a lot of challenges, going on. Not only wanting to lose weight, but struggling with pain and not being able to sleep too was a big thing. And fortunately, she listened to me pretty well and she got some really good results. And that's why we wanted to hop on here and just share it with anyone that might be struggling out there. So Kelly, first of all, thank you so much for being here. And if you could, really, I guess, really, where were you at before we started working? Like, what were you struggling with the most?
Um, it was kind of I didn't even realize how struggling I was doing until I really started talking to you and the questions you were asking me. But like you said, I wasn't sleeping and I didn't realize how long it was since I really slept well. I thought I ate pretty healthy, but weight was coming on. I mean, it could be, portion of my age or not getting enough exercise, not doing the right exercise, whatever it was. So I was feeling that, and just a whole bunch of things. My last couple of annual physicals weren't that great. I mean, my doctor wasn't freaking out about it, but they really weren't great, and we were watching some things. And so that's about when I started talking to you about some of these things.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so yeah, so she had not just like, hey, I want to lose weight. A lot of layers of a couple layers of things, some like serious health things. And sleep, not being able to sleep is miserable. And I think it's really easy for us to just, I think it's almost like acceptable to be like, yeah, I don't sleep well. And it's just like one of those things that carries on. And like almost everyone says that, I find. But it really affects so much in our lives and we don't realize it till it gets so out of hand. But
Right.
so I guess if you could kind of, after us working together, really, so Kelly, we had, her workout plan, which is really geared kind of towards her shoulders because that's where she was having all her pain and trying to strengthen them. Also decreasing her pain as much as we could. And then her nutrition really like you might be out there, a lot of people, hey, I'm eating pretty well, but I'm not getting, the results that I want. I get, so we got that. And then, I helped her along the way. I guess if you could, what was the biggest help for you or, a couple of things that were helpful?
Um, well, learning about the macronutrients was important because in my mind, I ate a bunch of fruit. Fruit doesn't have that much calories, and I was gaining weight. And when I say I ate a bunch of fruit, I eat a lot of fruit, or I did then. And I always thought I was being healthy. And of course, I had proteins and vegetables and stuff in there, or I ate really good whole grains and all that, but it just wasn't the right macros. And when you started teaching me, whether it was just you and I, or in a group setting, I was learning that, oh, here it is. This is why this is not this eating is not working for me. Because if you would have asked me, I would have said, yeah, I eat pretty healthy. Probably a lot of people do, but
Yeah.
getting the right amounts of the right macros is really important. And that was amazing to learn all that. And the other thing was like the coaching that you provide one-on-one. I mean, you kept me moving, and the encouragement that you gave me was important because you'll recall I had some, oh, this is not working days,
Yeah.
or anybody has some downtimes. But just being with you in groups where you put people together and teach us and allow us to share whatever our struggles are, that was important. The encouragement was insane. You did really, really well on that.
Well, thanks. I think, a big thing was your just willingness to, to anytime either it's one-on-one or in a group, you have to be willing to participate and be a little open to like, you know, these things aren't going well with me, reaching out for help. And it's really hard for us, almost anyone. I know I'm like that, like, hey, I can figure it out, or like,
Yeah.
it's, like you said, like, oh, I'm having these, moments of like, this isn't working for me. We all have those moments and just being
Mhm.
open with it. You were really good at that. And so kudos to you. And I think you hit the nail on the head, like, hey, like you can eat the healthiest diet in the world, but if you eat too much, you're not going to lose weight. And so it's really important. And it's this spot. And this was the biggest thing for me when I started doing this like 5, 6 years ago, really intently, was how much am I actually eating and really paying attention to it. Because I was like the mental jump for me to be like, I don't want to have to do that. But that was what was holding me back
Yeah.
to lose 20, 30 pounds. That's all that it was. And it takes some work, but I'm sure that, it's lessons that you'll be able to, you can use that forever now that you have that knowledge, which is really important.
And I still do use that. And it took me a while. And so, for instance, the pounds were slower to come off, but the inches were better. And being vulnerable about sharing photos of me, that was weird. That was like, gosh, please don't make me. But you were very encouraging, and everyone is in the same place. But to be able to look at yourself with a different set of glasses, because
Yep.
we look at ourselves a lot of times and just see the worst. And I
Oh,
don't that anymore. So it has taken a while. And even after you and I stopped working together, those things that I've learned have stuck with me. I continue to read books, about sleep and about nutrition. And I'm connected with different things online that I can go to when I need some help. And I think all those things, it started when I was working with you. I mean, I've been on every diet you can imagine, but this is not diet. This is
yeah.
not, it
It's
was not the least bit bad.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks. It's like it just comes down to learning and like doing the work. It's not any magic trick, and
It's
we
doing
want it to be.
And speaking of doing the work, I mean, you mentioned my shoulders, and I had shoulder surgery at the end of August, and my recovery was so quick. It was so, my physical therapists were amazed. My doctor, the surgeon, was very pleased with it. And we talked about how come I have quick range of motion and how come I had really low pain. And that was because of what I was doing before, months and months before, to build up to that. And I think you called it, what did we call
Yeah.
it?
Well, yeah, rather than rehab, it's called
It's
prehab.
rehab. Yes. And that
Yeah.
makes so much sense. And it was amazing because I put it off and put it off, but then the time was right for me to have the surgery and it worked out really well. And
Yeah.
I'm great now, back to everything the same.
Hey, it's all because you put in the work, and I think that is important. If you have an injury, it's so common, right? Like, oh, I'm just gonna wait and I'm gonna do, if it's a shoulder, and I'm gonna wait until I have surgery and literally wait for months and months.
Mhm.
And then it's like, oh, I had the surgery. How come I can't use my shoulder? Well, you didn't use it. Kelly did the complete opposite and said, no, I'm gonna get it strong. She had her motion pretty good. It was painful. Then she had the surgery, which helped with the pain, but then her motion and her strength just boom, like that.
It
So
is so quick. It was really good. And I know that's because of what I did with working with you for all those months beforehand.
Well, awesome. Well, yeah, thanks so much, Kelly. Yeah, I guess, if you could, if anyone else was struggling out there, I guess what would be some maybe words of advice for them, if they're not really sure what to do, if they're trying to eat healthy, maybe they're exercising a little bit, but they're not seeing the results. I mean, what did you find like work best for you? And, what would you recommend for them?
What worked best for me, like I said, this is not my first rodeo, so I've done all the stuff there is. But working with you, Bruno, was different because it was a different approach, and I made myself vulnerable, and I trusted you and your team of people. And in doing that, the stuff that I learned after just taking the first step and committing, even if I was hesitant in the beginning, I still made the commitment to myself. And I think, we can Google all the stuff we want, or we can figure out in whatever way what we may be doing wrong or not. But I mean, I think I'm a smart person and I was doing the wrong stuff unbeknownst. And the other thing to remember is it's not only about our weight and our strength and our size, it's about all the internal things. It's about the peace of mind. It's about
Mm,
health. It's about getting those great blood numbers at your doctor. And it's about sleeping better. It's all those things. And it doesn't come overnight. We didn't get this way overnight. So it takes some work.
I love that. You can get heard from Kelly, all you really do is exercise a little more, adjust your nutrition and listen to someone that maybe is a little smarter than you. And like you get so many benefits, right? Maybe if it's just to lose
Absolutely.
weight to start, you get so much stuff. And kudos to you. I think the other piece is committing. And it's so easy. You tried so many other things in the past. And I fall into this too. Okay, I did this for a week or 2 weeks. I'm not getting the results that I want. Maybe it's the wrong program for me, or maybe it's just where it is right now. And that's another thing that I like to do. That's why I always tell people, I'm like, I can tell you, is not making progress, just you're just okay, you just keep going and you're going to get there, or is it not? We need to adjust something, because it can be
Right.
tough to know that.
Right. And you did that with me the whole time, whether it was with the macros, what I was eating, or whether it was with, my shoulders hurting me worse. I mean, you did that because you had that background and know how to do that. And that was amazing. And I, for one, will be eternally grateful. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Kelly. I appreciate it so much, and look forward to hearing you just keep going in the future. Okay.
Okay.